Hello, everyone. Welcome to CompEng 2SH4 Principles of Programming. This is Aladdin. I'm going to present for you the first lab in this semester, which is Lab 0, and it is for the environment setup. I believe this lab is the most important lab during this semester uh, because without the environment, you will not be able to complete the other labs. So please make sure that you will you follow the steps in this tutorial to make sure that you will get your environment set up correctly. So let's start. I'm going to talk about three main topics in this tutorial. So the first one is the objective. The second one is related to the environment setup and the creation of the GitHub account. And finally is like the normal way of developing the lab by starting by the first step, which is importing the starter code, and then developing the lab, and finally pushing the changes that you make to the GitHub repo. You will find that these last three steps are repeatable, and you will do them in the rest of the course. So yeah, let's start with the objective. So for the objective, yeah, the main important objective of this lab is to get your environment set up for the rest of the course and make you familiar with Git revision control and perform ionic testing. Please make sure that you check the provided documents under Lab 0 in Avenue to Learn to get the benefit of these objective. So let's start with the environment setup. We will use GitHub during this course. So you will need to create a GitHub account. And please make sure that you are using your MacMaster email address. For the username, it's fine. Like you don't have to use your Mac ID, but it should be your MacMaster email address. And then for the environment setup, we will download and use 4 programs: Eclipse, Java Virtual Machine, C Toolchain, Compiler, Git support. So now I'm going to show you how to check the first step, the creation of the GitHub account, and make sure that you are using MacMaster email address. So as you can see, this is my account in GitHub. So from here, you can check that this is the username that you are using in your GitHub account. And to check your email address, you can press on this arrow and then settings, then navigate to emails. So the primary email address needs to be your MacMaster email address. So please make sure that you are using your MacMaster email address to be able to use the codes and use the classroom. Okay. Then, as I said, we will start downloading 4 programs: Eclipse and MinGW, Java Virtual Machine, and Git. You can obtain these links from the lab manual. So as you can see, for each program of them, you will find that the suitable operating system. For example, this for Mac operating system, Windows and Linux. So this tutorial is related to Windows users. So I downloaded the Windows version for Eclipse. And now I'm going to show you. Actually, I downloaded all of them. So you can see that these are the 4 programs. So let's start installing Eclipse. So I will just run it. And then a pop-up window will appear. So in 2SH4, we will develop programs in C and C++. So we should install Eclipse IDE for C, C++ developers. Here you can see that the minimum requirement for Java virtual machine to be able to run this Eclipse version. And this is the installation folder. So I will not change any of them. And then install. So yeah, the installation completed successfully. I will launch the program. So yeah, this is the Eclipse IDE. Now, one of the most important steps is the workspace. As you can see here, I have two directories or two drives, C and E. Usually, I prefer to use the directories that are not combined with Windows. So I have my Windows on C. So I will use E as my workspace directory. So here I will browse, and then I have two SH4. As you can see, it is in E and the labs. So I will select this folder as my workspace, and then I will launch the program. So just 5 minutes installation for Eclipse, as you can see. Yeah, it is installed now on our machines without any issue. So yeah, I will minimize it now. Next, I will download Java virtual machine, and I want to make sure this Java virtual machine is JDK. So I downloaded it already from the link. I will start the installation. Yes. Next. Next. I will not change anything. Then updating the components. As you can see, it is a Java virtual machine was successfully installed on my machine. Now I close it. The next step is to install a C toolchain compiler. So for Eclipse, we will, as I said before, we are going to develop C++ programs. Unfortunately, like Eclipse doesn't have, it is based on Java development. So we will need to install a C toolchain to be able to compile the code. So for Windows, we will download and install MinGW. Okay. So we will start. You have a separate lab or installation guidelines for MinGW. So here I will just run, then install. I will not change anything. Continue. Then it will take some time to download and set up MinGW. So it takes some time to be downloaded, but it's okay, it's fine. No worries about the progress of the installation. Okay, so the next step, I will continue. Okay, then this window comes like popped up. So as you can see, there are some packages. Please make sure that you will select MinGW 32 dash base. So mark it for installation, and GCC G++, mark it this one for installation. And the last one, MSys dash base, mark for installation. Then close this window and review the changes. Okay, to proceed, yeah, apply this. So you will see that these packages are in progress and they are being downloaded. So the packages are still in progress. As you can see, the steps are step forward. You are just following. If you follow the guidelines in the manual, it will be like easy steps and easy installation for the programs. After installing MinGW, we will need to edit the paths to MinGW and MSys softwares to make sure Eclipse will be able to find these softwares. And I will show you the steps to edit these passes in the system variables environment. But let's wait for the packages downloading. As you can see, the packages takes some time in MinGW, so don't worry about this. Once all of the packages are downloaded, everything will be done. So as you can see, yeah, I returned back because it took some time to download all the packages. So now all the changes were applied successfully. Now we can close this dialog. So close. So now we installed 3 programs, Eclipse, Git, and MinGW. Now we want to make sure the paths for MinGW can be findable by Eclipse. So the first step here is to go to properties and like going to manage in this PC, right click on it, sorry. Going to properties and then going to advanced system settings, environment variables. So now we will add the passes to MinGW and MSys. So we can see that we will edit the path in system variables, not the path in user variables. So please make sure that you will edit this path. Edit. And then we will edit environment variables. So now we will add, we will copy the line provided in MinGW manual. So we will create a new and then paste it. So this is the new path that we added. And as you can see here, MinGW is installed, like this path is here and MSys 2. So these 2 paths are in the environment variable. So now we will make sure Eclipse can find these paths. Okay. And you may need to restore your machine to be able to use these variables. And after the rebooting of the machine, so the new paths will be installed correctly. Okay. Now is the last step in the environment setup, which is downloading and installing Git. So I downloaded Git from the given link in the lab manual. Start installing it. And we will use Git as our revision control to be able to track the edits and the development of the code. So as you can see, next, the installation path, next. I already exist, so I will install it anyway. Install, next, next, next. As you can see, it is straightforward. I'm not doing anything. I will just press on the next. Okay, next, next. And now the installation is in progress. Yeah, so as you can see that the Git is already installed. You can launch Git bash, finish. So as you can see, here it is. We can run this command git status. So once we can see that not a Git repo, so it means the Git was installed successfully on our machines. So now we have all the programs installed. One last step is to install TM terminal from Eclipse Marketplace. And from this link, we will install this TM terminal. All we need to do is to drag this one to, as you can see here, to your running Eclipse workspace to be able to install it. And it requires to have Eclipse Marketplace client. So let me open Eclipse. So this is Eclipse. Here we go. I will launch the Eclipse Marketplace from here. And then I will drag this icon to be installed. So I will drag it here. Updates available, update now. So I need to update my TM terminal. Update, confirm. So it has been updated. So yeah, we are ready now to start our development in the codes and import the starters codes. So these were the steps to install the setup environment. I will reboot my machine and then return to make sure to show you how to import the starter code and develop develop your codes and compile them to make sure everything will be smooth for you in the rest of the semester. Okay, I return back. So now I don't have like a quick launch for Eclipse here in my desktop. So I will show you how to make to create a shortcut for it from PC. Local disk C, users, then the main user. So you'll see this. This is the Eclipse version, and you can see this, which I installed today. Eclipse. And you can see this is eclipse.executable, which is the main launcher for Eclipse. So I will send it to the desktop. So yeah, I have my Eclipse shortcut now. And from here, I can launch Eclipse. And as you can see, as I edited the workspace from the beginning of the installation, so it shows that my main workspace is in 2SH4 Labs. So I will launch it. Okay, so now we will start to develop our codes. The first step, let's return back to the slides. So we finish the environment setup. Now let's move to the real work here, importing the starter code, developing the lab, and then pushing the changes to the GitHub repo. As I said in the beginning of this tutorial, these 3 steps will be repeatable and you will redo them for the rest of the labs. So please make sure you will follow the steps. From the given link, you need to accept the invitation. So I will re-accept it because I accepted it already. And now I will accept the assignment. As you can see that once I accept the assignment, it will be granted to be accessed to be in this format, lab0 dash the username. This is my username on GitHub. And it is based on comb-eng dash 2sh4 organization. So I will accept this assignment. Okay, I will refresh my page. You are ready to go. So as you can see, this is the link. So the only thing will be different, as I will show here, is the username. So this is the only difference between all of you. Like the starter code will be accepted and imported to your GitHub account based on your username. As you can see, this is my GitHub account, the organization, and then the repo. So as you can see, this is my repo here. Okay, so this was the first step, which is importing the starter code. Now we will move to clone this starter code from GitHub to my local machine. So let's move. Okay, so now I will view the terminal. So here it is. As you can see, I have my git bash. Git bash is already installed. Okay, so it will be open. Show view terminal. Okay. I will check why it's not installed correctly. Okay, so I needed to reboot my machine again. So as you can see, now the terminal is working fine. We can open it from this icon directly, and you need to choose the terminal git bash. Okay, so okay, as you can see, it is working fine. To make sure that you installed your Git program correctly, from window, preferences, then terminal, local terminal, you will see that this is the git bash is already installed and the path for it for the program. So everything is fine. And here you can type git status and you will see that not a git repo. Another thing you can do from window, show view, terminal. Okay, it's working. From preferences, And in the local terminal, you can initial your working directory from this selection, from user home or Eclipse home or Eclipse workspace. As you know, I set my workspace in 2sh4 labs. So if I did this and then apply and close, so I will create a new terminal. Okay. As you can see, it is directly to my working space. Like I don't need to worry about this anymore. Okay, so now my working directory will be set to sh4 labs. And here, using ls command, I created already my folders for lab 0 and the rest of the labs for this semester. So now I will change the directory to be lab 0. And here I will clone in this directory, I will clone my repo from GitHub account. So to do this, all I need to do is just copy the URL and then type git space clone, then paste the URL. As you can see, the repo is cloned already on my machine and everything is so smooth now. So into sh4 labs, lab 0. So you will see that here it is. So it was already installed on my local machine. So now the first step, I imported from the starter code, and after accepting the invitation of the link, I imported the code to my GitHub account. Then the second step, I cloned this repo from the GitHub account to my local machine. The third step is to create a project on Eclipse. So all you need to do is press on File, New, C project, and this one is based on C. So we will select C managed build. Next. So we will give the project name lab 0, and please make sure that you unselect this one and browse to your default location. As you can see that for me it is lab 0 because I already set up everything to be smooth from the first place. But if you didn't set the default location from the beginning to be to the correct path, so you need to untick to the use default location and then browse to sh4 labs lab 0, and then in lab 0 don't select the cloned repo. Again, don't select the cloned repo. Okay, just lab 0, the directory that you created on your machine, not the repo you cloned from GitHub. Select folder, and then you will select empty project and minjwcc as a tool chain. So we are good to go. Finish. You will see that lab 0 is already here, and here is the lab and the PDFs related to it. I like this organization, and because usually like for the next labs, you will see that lab 1, lab 2, etc. So this organization is a preferable one. And now for lab 0, let's open question 1. So as you can see here, this is the structure of the project. We have here test library files, which are cutest.c and cutest.h. Okay, so this is the test library files and test suite files, which are you need to make sure you don't edit these ones, which are all tests.c and test cases.c. So please make sure you don't edit or touch these files, and because this is an important step. And the lab header, which is questions.h, you'll see that the definition and prototypes, which is add function. and then the lab source file, which is question1.c, and this is where you will add a function, and it is the summation function you need to implement here in lab 0, the summation function. So as you can see, it is so easy, and you have a makefile. This makefile will be used for test purposes, and in the same time to compile the files and make sure everything is compiled correctly. So these don't change anything in, as I said, in all tests.c and test cases.c. Actually, we have autograder. So once you edit the code and added your function and the test case as required from the lab manual, the autograder will verify these edits, and based on this, you will get your grade. Okay. 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 So now for lab 0, you need to do two things. The first is to complete. The first task is to complete the add function. You have two inputs, input 1 and input 2. So this function is supposed to take these two inputs and return the summation of them. And the second step, to add in test cases.c another test case. And this test case is supposed to, for example, add negative numbers. As you can see, you need to add, not editing any of these functions, because these functions are used to grade your code and your implementation of the add function. So please make sure all you will need to do is to create a new test case like this. So here I will add test 3, and then, for example, I will take this one as copy paste here, and I will rename this test case to be test case 3. And here you can edit your test case based on based on the requirement, and the requirement is to add negative integers. So you need to think how you will do this. So it is so easy. Don't forget to add suite add test 3 to make sure it will be run, because if you forget it, it will not be run. Okay. So as you can see in test cases.c, you don't change any of the given functions. You just add your own function. Okay. So this is for the lab. Okay. And now to build the project, all you need to do is select a project and then build project. As you will see in the console itself, like there is no errors and one warning. The warning is related to the control reaches end of non-void function, because I didn't write anything in question1.c. It is important to read these messages to make yourself familiar with the warnings and the issues to be able to debug your code. So here, like I don't return anything, so that's why there is this warning. And now after doing this step, I can run my project by selecting okay. So as you can see, now in this project, to be able to run it, I will select lab 0, which is my main project, then run as, and then I will select local C++ application. It is running, and as you can see, because I didn't add the add function, the number of test cases runs are 2. None of them were passed, and 2 were failed in this test case. You need to make sure you will add another one, which to have 3 test cases. And as you can see here, these are the 2 failures. FF is false. And as you can see here, there were two failures. The first one in question 1, test case 1, and test case 2. And this is the expected output, and the output coming from the source code or the file. So yeah, I need to edit these things. So I will edit them and show you what will happen. So now after completing the add function and adding the test case and its suite, so we can see that I don't have any errors and no warnings after building the project. So everything goes good. Now I will run the project. So run as local C++ application. As you can see, 3 test cases and all of them are passed. So yeah, this is lab 0. Yeah, of course, I didn't show the answers, just in case if you asking where is the answer, because you need to complete it by yourself. And now let's move to the last step, which is pushing the edits into our GitHub account. So first step, run git status and check. I need to change, yeah, as you can see, I was in lab 0. I need to change my directory to lab 0, my username. So now I can run git status. So as you can see, I modified question1.c and test cases.c. In question1.c, I added the implementation of that function, and in test cases, I added the additional test case, which is related to the negative numbers, and added its suite to be able to run it. Okay, so now we will need to push and add these edits. So the command that I should run to add these edits is get add asterisk. So now they are added, then I will commit them with a message. This message I'm stating complete lab 0, and I will show you an interesting thing in GitHub. So as you can see, this is my GitHub account, and it was 21 minutes ago once I cloned my repo, and in the same time there is an orange point here or node here. So from these commits, you can check the commits happening. So I didn't make any commits, right? So I will push my first commit. So I added them. As you can see, I got this message, which is stating I need to run these commands to configure my username and email address. I got a lot of questions about these 2 commands. All you need to do is just select this one, copy, Control-Shift-D, and this is my username. And then my email address. As you can see, it is my Mac master email address. And then to check these edits were done, git config /l. So it will show everything related to my GitHub account. So as you can see here, my username is set and my user email address is set too. So Control-C. So now after committing, I will commit the message again. Okay, so now your branch is ahead of the origin main by 1 commit. So I need to push, as you can see, use git push to publish your local commits to your GitHub repo. don't forget to use this. Git push. And yeah, it was pushed. Now let's return to the GitHub account. I will make a refresh now. Complete lab 0. You can see that it was completed. And then after a while, this one, there is an auto grader. This auto grader will check if the requirements were completed correctly or not. If it is completed correctly, you will see here like a green check mark stating that this code was verified. Here it is. If it is wrong, it will be X and stating that there is a wrong thing in the code, so you need to revise it. So yeah, this was the tutorial. I hope it was easy and I cover, as I said, the objective of this lab and the environment setup and how to deal with importing the starter code till pushing the changes to the GitHub repo. So I hope that you find this tutorial like useful for you, and please revise it for the last 3 steps and make sure you follow the guidelines. So yeah, that's it. Thank you, everyone.